as we discussed till now, how did the people started to get transformation from a healthy family relations? They got disassociated, the disassociation of the bonds, the institution of the marriage getting failed, all these things. And we also can say that because of the individualism and the industrial growth, that has given a scope for the people to have mass vacation on Sundays. And now moving on to the leisure time practices of people in the developed city like London. What were their leisure practices and what did they used to consume during that period? The leisure and consumption. So the wealthy people or the Britishers used to have a long time, that is the annual London season, where they used to enjoy their break time. It may be nearly for 1 month to 2 months. So it may vary from 30 days to 60 days during the period from December to Jan, because it was a severe cold during that period and it is considered as a Christmas season during there. And now the practices of these people are nothing but what we see in our day-to-day atmosphere around us in the present day cities were being practiced by them during the later part of the 19th century and the early part of the 20th century. So initially they were not fond of having these kind of leisure practices, but because they are having holidays on Sundays and weekends, so they decided to have a happy time during the weekends. So they were advised to spend their time very happily during the weekends. So the first one what they prefer was the opera theatre, where the classic and the musical shows were conducted. The theatre shows were played at the opera house, where it was a very famous one. Even today we have the opera house playing their classical and the musical things, and today we even have theatre shows displayed from here. We have fantastic actors coming up from these theatre shows. Then we have the allied groups restored to join together with 300 to 400 families together and exchange their views, exchange their ideas by having a gathering at a place, and that place where the wine or the drink will be served, known as pub. So pub has become a place where they can exchange their views and exchange their ideas or exchange their news, whatever is happening from across and in the whole week period, so that they can have a bonding between these 300 to 400 members as a group society during that time. That's how the pub culture got into existence during that period. And later, when the establishment of the museums, initially when museums were established, there was a token ticket amount that has to be paid to get entry into the museum. So the number was very less. In 1810s, when the museum was started, for an annual year, it was only 15,000 members visiting the place for the whole year. But when this token amount has been lifted off, the number has been tripled for 1,27,643 people, moving from 1824 to 1825 period. And again in 1846, when the statistics were taken, it grew to 8,25,901 people visiting the museum, which was set up in London. And also we have the other practices coming up. The cinema became the most favorite time pass item for the people in London. The cinemas started to be the most entertaining aspect for the people of that time. That continued even today also. We have the most entertaining medium is cinema. And then spend the time by the sea. When the weekends, most of the Britishers are advised to spend their time nearby to the beaches. We have statistics available for us that in 1883, nearly 1 million people have spent their weekends at the Blackpool beach, and in 1939, we have nearly 7 million people spending their time at the Blackpool. So it shows very clearly that the people, once they got accustomed with the city culture, they started to adopt it into their day-to-day lives. They started to change their relations in adjustability with the situations. So now people, when they started to initially to feel loneliness, what we have seen in the upper class women communities, later in order to eliminate this loneliness, they started to come and interact with the people. What we have seen in the allied groups where 300 to 400 family members are coming together in the pub. Then we have seen the music shows of opera theatre. Then we have discussed about the museum places where you can find a beautiful art piece, architecture, historical collections, arty crafts, manufacturers. All these things started to step into the lives of the people in the cities because there is a lot of gap in the life of the people, because there was no close intimacy which was there before in the rural areas, but now they have moved to the individualistic attitude, city centered regions where they had their own consciousness. Self has become more for them, and it has given a scope for the establishment of the other ways of getting entertainment rather than being close to the person whom do you like more. The cinemas have become the most influential medium of communication or a time pass medium, because you can go and sit in the cinema which is visualizing as well as an audio aid which plays for you in a very larger extent, so which reveals for us to get very large aspects for us. So all these things will make us to understand how can you understand the facts, or how can you look at visualizing something which cannot happen in real life can be happening in the cinemas. And then spending the time most valuably is spending the time at the sea, where it is considered to be a healthy and it gives us pleasure for the people by enjoying at the beach time like small children. So 1 million people were spending their valuable time at the weekend times by the beach sides at the Backpool beach in 1883. That number has gone up to 7 million in 1939 at the Backpool beach. So these are some of the leisure practices which are developed during the later part of the 20th century in order to compensate the Sunday time of the people of the London. So their practices are looking at the music, watching the plays at the opera, allied group gathering in the pubs, organizing festive occasions, and then having their own meetings, attending or visiting the museums, and then watching the movies, cinemas, and finally spending their time by the sea. So these all are some of the collections of the leisure time practices and also the consumptions. So now wine started to become a more aspect common in all gatherings of the people, because whenever we have 2-3 people gathering there, as we would like to give tea or coffee in Indian context, there they started to share wine with all the people. So wine has been playing a very crucial role in all the drinks, wines and all, has been part and parcel of the culture of the city attitude. So along with this, we have different music getting up involved, and this got development into various other stages. That's how the time pass or the vast Sunday gap, mass Sunday gap has been finished or spent by the people in London by using all these different leisure time practices to spend their valuable time and consumption.
If you like this video, please give a thumbs up. Please subscribe to our channel to get more videos on CBSE syllabus.